the Fresno Focus Radio Hour. This is the No Focus Radio Hour. Comedy and insight from the greatest minds in Fresno. A Lightomine Media production. That's right, this is the No Focus Radio Hour. We are the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. Thank you for listening and for telling a friend. The No Focus Radio Hour is available anywhere podcasts can be found, including YouTube and your home smart speakers. Just ask to play the No Focus Radio Hour. Remember to subscribe and leave a review. It helps others discover our show. And while you are reviewing, please keep in mind that 5 stars is the correct number of stars. If you enjoy the show, share it with your friends. And if you hate it, share it with your enemies. Check out our site, nofocusradio.com, for exclusive content and to vote on Don's polls. Find us on social media. Our handle is at nofocusradio. Check out the rest of our stuff at lightominemedia.com.
2, 3, 4. Know just what I got to do. Gotta hit the ground running just as fast as I can.
Where are we running?
Gotta hit the ground running to Fresno. Listen to my favorite podcast. Running just as fast as I can.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
We sound so good.
Glad we rehearsed it.
This is the No Focus Radio Hour. We are the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. We make this show for those who live in the Central Valley, for those who miss the Central Valley, those who long to live in the Central Valley, and for those who
refuse to leave the house when it's over 100 degrees in the Central Valley.
As always, we have our beautiful cast of characters. We are missing Don Schlicks. Sadly, he's still in rehab.
Yeah. So we're not as beautiful, but we're almost as beautiful.
That's right. We're not as beautiful. We're more beautiful.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Whoa.
We have with us, as always, Eric, the doorman.
Hey, Fresno, what is happening with you?
Not much.
Anybody melting out there yet?
My car started to melt, I believe.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, my car has a steering wheel heater, and I'm like, why would that be an option to have a heater in your steering wheel?
Because you need oven mitts to touch it when it's so hot outside.
It's like I could just leave it out in the sun for 5 minutes.
I thought the same thing. Like I have the butt warmers, which are good for like, a month.
Yeah.
I would love, like my dad had an old car. He had the old Ford Flex, which was the coolest car ever. It had seat coolers, and it would blow air on your butt.
Oh, yeah.
And I freaking thought that was the way to go.
Oh, I have that too. That's nice. Oh, yeah, it's just like a fan in your
jealous,
butt.
Man. I need that. I need that.
Yeah. I could smell up your car really fast if you're having a problem with hygiene.
It's true. And that was our next person here, Marty Stupidasso.
Hey, since it is so hot, I just want to give out a public service announcement. Do not leave things on your dashboard in your car because they will melt.
What did you leave?
I didn't, but I saw some people who had like a CD player or something else.
Gone.
I know, it was weird. A portable CD player on their dashboard, and they left it there. And I go, that is just destroyed because the heat will cause the silicone things and electronics to separate, and all your soldering will come undone. And your electronics won't work.
Hey, Marty, what's a CD? Is that anything like
it's an ancient technology.
Like an MP3?
Almost. It's an ancient technology. It's called a compacted disc. And they used it back in the olden days when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Interesting.
Dinosaurs and CDs. Yeah. That's basically
it was originally created in the 1780s by Alexander Hamilton.
Wow. And did you just stick that right?
I thought it was by Sir Compact
Did you just stick that right into your phone?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't remember how that works?
You inserted it into a slit somewhere. Yeah, if you found it. Yeah, a car or a...
Yeah, so don't put anything on your dash. That's my take.
Some cars would have a CD player. You know, it's funny. My last car, it was actually a newer car, but it did have a CD player. And I'm like, why? Why?
You know what's actually funny? My dad, he has a 2020 Dodge Ram. And it has, the giant screen with... everything built in.
Yeah.
It's like top of the line. It's got all the fancy stuff, but it also has a CD player. And but I'm actually jealous of it because we have some old CDs that never if you go on Spotify or whatever, these are like some rare albums and they'd never been digitized onto Spotify or streaming services. So He just sticks that in the CD player, and what's cool is the car just rips it and turns it into an MP3
no kidding.
in the car. So it has a built-in memory. So he just puts them in, it just rips it right in. So
that is magic.
Cool. Yeah, which is actually kind of cool because I'm like, for some old albums, if I'm too lazy to like put them in my computer and
maybe my car did that and I just never tried it.
Yeah, you should.
Well, it's gone now. Neat. Anyway, so who's telling us about his dad's car?
The man who's jealous of a CD player.
The only.
They call me Johnny Knobs.
Hey, Johnny, my daughter was wondering this. Why do they call you Johnny Knobs?
So it's a true story. A couple, when was that? It was a couple of years ago.
They're all true.
I was sad though. It was a 3rd of July.
Okay.
I had just bought a number of fireworks.
Illegal?
I bought Piccolo Pete's at the time.
Those are the best.
Yeah, Piccolo Pete's. And I used to love Piccolo Pete's because if you wrapped them with duct tape and you hammered them and then you lit them, they would explode.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Classic. I used to
love
doing that.
Kids, don't try this at home.
Yeah. So we would get a lot of these. And my friend of the show, Ray, and I, we got a bunch of Piccolo Pete's. We wrapped them with duct tape, and we were just hammering them, and one of them went off.
No.
Just, my ear hurt. And I lost, I don't know if you guys know, I lost two of my fingers.
Really?
2 of my fingers. And so that was really hard growing up after that to like when I would try to open car doors or any doors, I'd always have to ask, hey, can somebody come over here and help me with the knob? It's very hard to get in.
Okay.
And so they started like, Johnny Knobs, they'd call me, Johnny Knobs. And so it was just really sad. And then later on, when I was in college, I worked in the theater department, and I'd work in the booth. Okay. And in the booth, people's microphones would they'd start singing really loud. And so they'd be like, hey, Johnny, can you turn down the volume? And they started calling me Johnny Knobs because I control
that's awesome.
the volume.
Oh,
yeah. That's how I got
After that story, they could have called you Johnny Nubs for your missing fingers.
Oh, what's interesting? I never even thought about Johnny Nubs. It was just because I couldn't open the knobs.
I thought they might call you Piccolo Knobs.
Piccolo
Pete or Pete Knobs.
Strangely,
something like that.
But I don't know why they did that.
I love those stories.
Kids, fireworks are very dangerous.
Yes, that's the
even the safe
true
and
story.
sane
And it's hard to this day. I'm trying to work the board. I only got
your fingers are pretty good now. Did you get some other fingers sewn on there?
Yeah. So true story.
Fingers,
True story. They grew back.
You had somebody donated 2 fingers.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they had extra.
They had extra
fingers. It's like, hey, I see you're missing some. I've got extra here. Take a couple of mine.
Our dearest president. I don't know if you guys saw the poor guy. He was riding his bike. Did you see this?
Yeah, and he forgot to put his foot down when he stopped. That's
really,
the worst.
Really. And, I feel bad. That's true.
Wait a minute. I thought it was something else that happened. I thought he got hit by a golf ball.
I saw that, too. So, yeah.
And who swung?
So, but what is nice, though, is former President Donald Trump, who just continues to amaze and mock. And, I mean, to be fair, pretty unpresidential of him. I don't really care though because I think it's fun. He's not the president anymore.
No,
he said this. He wished President Biden from the bottom of his heart to get well.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, I'm serious. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Fell off a bicycle. I make this pledge to you today. I will never, ever ride a bicycle.
That's awesome.
That's true. So that's a nice pledge. He will never, ever ride a bicycle.
Well, there you go. That's almost a platform to run on right there. Vote for me. I will never, ever ride a bicycle.
From Make America Great Again to I will never, ever ride a bicycle.
I will make bicycles great again by not riding on them.
So funny. Did you guys see the instructional card that President Biden had with the wind energy leaders in the White House?
I didn't see this. I heard about this, I think, though. So
he had a card with him with notes.
Okay.
And I thought this was photoshopped. I didn't believe this was real. I had to do double, triple research to make sure this was real. But it was the person who took the picture was from Getty Images. They're the ones who posted it.
They're legit. Yeah.
Yeah, Getty Images. Drew Andringer posted the picture. It's been verified. He had a card with him. And on the front, everybody thought it was just like his notes, his notes for the meeting.
Okay.
But then he accidentally flipped it over, and they got a picture of it.
He flipped it.
And the notes were a list of instructions for President Biden. And it says, in capital letters, every time I say the word you, this is big, bold capital letters. So the note said, you enter the Roosevelt room and say hello to participants. You take your seat. The press enters. You give brief comments. The press departs. You ask Liz Schuler, President, AFL-CIO, a question. Note, Liz is joining virtually. You thank participants. And then it says, you depart.
Wow.
Like he had to find out, if he was going to depart.
Well, obviously, I think the guy is showing a lot of signs here of something. His mental capacities are diminishing, and I just can't wait for him to run in 2024 again.
Yeah, I know, that'd be great.
And
but
it's
he's
all
a
post.
busy man, he's got to know what to do all the time. Someone's got to tell him. I'd be in the same way.
I'll post the actual picture because it's
it's a little disturbing.
It's disturbing. It's actually
It's like kind of funny and it's kind of sad at the same time.
yeah. It's just like this list of bullet points that are just very.
But they're basic instructions.
Very basic instructions.
It's not like
you enter the room.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can understand like if he had a name to pronounce, or if he had several people to then I can understand that, because I couldn't remember people's names and stuff. But this is just like, yeah, you don't poop your pants.
Yeah, like it literally tells him to enter the room.
Wow.
Do not talk about children rubbing your legs.
And it's you take, that's my favorite. You, in capital, take your seat. And the your is capitalized and bolded. Like
it is. I see it right here.
What other seat was he going to take?
On the computer you're showing us here.
Like,
on the screen.
I'll post this. Once again, it's in the show notes.
Did the seat have a little note on it that says your seat?
Here.
Maybe. That's interesting. Because it's a really interesting.
What was this press conference about? Because was it about this? He predicts the second pandemic. Was that?
This is the one about the wind.
One.
This is the wind implementation.
They're implementing wind. I have wind all the time.
The wind implementation, offshore wind implementation. They have to implement
offshore.
The
Why
wind.
are they doing offshore? I don't want to look out at the ocean and see windmills.
No, it's going to be beautiful.
No, it's not.
Beautiful.
It's just like when you go to the mountains. You don't see the mountains, you see the windmills.
Well, those things will only last probably about, not to get off track with Biden, but those things will probably last, about maybe 2 years, and then the salt water will just eat away at them, and they'll fall back in the ocean and
no one wants to think about that.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that.
This, I don't know. This is very, I remember, and I'm sure you do too, Stu, back in the 80s, we heard about how Ronald Reagan, Nancy.
Mommy,
I might hit the trigger for the nuclear destruction of the planet. But we heard about what a crazy guy he was, right? And his finger was on the button, and he was like 69.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Biden's 79.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about it. It's funny how nobody.
That's why he doesn't have the nuclear.
Who's got the codes? Reagan still have them?
Probably. They're buried with him over at that memorial library.
Yeah, it is scary. Yeah. It is scary. It really is.
Well, I'm more worried about Putin and his nuclear briefcase.
Oh, geez.
In fact, I just read an article. The guy who carries a nuclear briefcase for Putin was off duty, and he ended up getting murdered in his apartment.
Oh, God.
No way. Yep. There's crazy stuff that goes on over in that country.
I know. It's scary.
Well, it's funny. Like, people are always getting poisoned and stuff. You hear about, like, people that are enemies of
sprayed
Putin.
with some noxious stuff.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden
kills.
they come down, they, like, die, like, 5 minutes
Holy
later.
Holy smokes.
But this is, I don't know. I mean, do we need, if you look at the House and the Senate, you look at, of course, the presidency, do we need that generation running things anymore?
No, I don't.
Can they hand it off to somebody a little bit younger at some point,
Please. Well, as long as they're smart. It's very few. I don't know.
And it's someone who's younger who is concerned about the future and realize there is a future, instead of people who are so old like Pelosi, who doesn't see a future because she's lucky if she wakes up every morning.
Yeah. That's true.
Well,
That
that's the
is
funny
true.
thing is that what about a future for their kids? I mean, they just care about making money on their stocks, and so their
so they could
grandkids
leave their
and
kids a
grandkids and have all the
fortune,
money. That's not very nice.
Have you guys seen this picture of Nancy Pelosi? This is a real picture.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She looks like a skeleton.
That's
Where
real.
is this one from? I don't know where you pulled
That's
this
real.
from.
That's a news article picture.
Is that looks like the picture of her you would see when you put those glasses on from They Live, those sunglasses on, and then you see the real, true, the reptilians.
Yeah, I like that picture
in the background.
I'll post that picture in the show notes.
Yeah,
in case-
post.
It's going to be labeled "real picture" of Nancy Pelosi.
Is that what was her husband's name again?
Mr. Pelosi.
Yeah.
Mr. Pelosi. Is that why he had so many drinks and was driving his Porsche around?
I think
Maybe
so.
He saw her.
Yeah.
I knew she was going to eat that
Saw
baby.
this picture of her and it freaked him out. I don't know.
Oh goodness me! Yeah,
I
real
don't know.
picture of Nancy Pelosi.
I'll tell you. It goes back saying now we did have an older president too in Trump, but we can talk about the economy. How good was the economy back then?
I'll tell you what,
gas prices.
it was good. I mean, I can't. Here's the thing: I wouldn't complain about it now.
No.
Because, that's one way to put it.
No.
Goodness me! But you know what? Talking about elected officials,
Yes,
and all that good stuff. You got a little story here. Why don't you tell us what's going on here? I heard about this. You posted this story. Tell us about
yeah.
this.
Well, I guess the city council here, they actually this story now they've actually voted 5-2 to give themselves a raise, a 69% increase from what I understand here.
Interesting.
69%. I think also, and they want to tie these salaries to the judges. So in other words, what would happen is that every time the judges, from now on, whenever the judges would get a raise, they would get a raise also.
Yeah, so these are city supervisors. So a council
These
member.
are council members.
Interesting.
Okay. Now they make, I think, around average what 80,000.
80,000,
So
yeah.
they would go from 80,000 to 135,000.
Oh, it's great.
Now it wouldn't take effect immediately. It would just be for the new terms. So in other words, people that just got newly elected, which I think Perea did, and then you would have if people get and some people that got reelected too, they would also get it in their next term. People that have termed out would not get it. Bredefil would not get it. I think Soria wouldn't. Those were the only two that voted no, by the way.
Yeah.
So to me, and then some of the, and so I was kind of disappointed. To be honest, I was really kind of disappointed, especially the way some of the council members voted. But I would just like to ask you guys: have you in your life ever got a 69% raise?
Oh, well,
Was there ever a job? Now we have people that work jobs. We have people that have their own businesses in this room.
In fact, the Clovis teachers who were overworked, underpaid, got a 6% 6% raise. And all the administrators got a higher percentage raise. And so all the teachers are upset saying, well, this is a down payment. Let's have the rest of it.
What the administrators get? Do you know?
I don't know, but it was higher, and that was one of the problems.
See, and this is the problem is that, what it does, I think, one is that it takes away accountability. In other words, if their raises are basically out of the public view, if it, because people will forget. Right. Now they bring up the point that, well, the county supervisors make a lot more money, and that their raises are attached. I think back in '96 they did this, and they attached it to the judges, where they got a percentage of a raise, whatever the judges got. And okay, now my thinking would be like, all right, well, okay, so if they have a bigger area to cover, okay. Also, if they did that back in '96, that's fine. But here we are today in a recession. Gas is crazy. Food is crazy. People can't afford this stuff. But yet you're still going to give yourself. It's bad optics.
That's what it is. It's just they're not thinking through. What they could do is, honestly, if they had just waited.
Yeah.
Wait until things get better. It's not getting better. Wait if it ever did get better.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Wait when there are people who are just struggling. Right. And this is and what is the job of a city council member? What is their job?
I don't know. I know they have meetings.
Well, to attend the city council meetings, they have to go to a lot of public events. Now, apparently, Arias said this is his wording, saying that basically, it's not the part-time job that he thought it was when he signed up for this thing. So he's saying that because he feels he has to go to these events. He's always on call. He's on late at night on social media. He's always involved with his constituents, which is great. But I think in Arias's district, the median income is $30,000.
Right.
So he's saying that because he can talk to his constituents, that to him that's worth $135,000, while the people in his district are making, I think, and don't quote me, but I think it was $30,000 in his district.
But aren't they called like public servants? Aren't
Yeah,
they supposed to
yes.
like, okay, I'm
The
going to serve
role.
my community and help these people. I'm going to be in for a one term and that's it. But no, these people say, well, I want this to be like a livable wage for me, so I
what
can
they
just
want.
only do this. Just like McDonald's. They want people to have a livable wage at McDonald's.
The role of a city councilor, the fundamental role of a councilor, is to serve the interests of their community. It is to represent the public interest of their community and advocate on behalf of their own constituents. It is not responsible for day-to-day administration of the council, operational matters, or overseeing the work done by local government employees. It's literally their job, is just to be a voice on behalf of their constituents.
Yeah, they vote on budgets and they vote on different things for the
It
city.
shouldn't be. Like, he's like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be a full-time job. Well, it shouldn't be.
No, it wasn't designed to
It
be.
wasn't designed to be. Stop making it a full-time
Well,
job.
that's what it is. You know, he mentioned that. Well, they don't get it. They don't get a retirement, and that's part of it too. That's why that's part of the increase is that they don't.
You're supposed to have a regular job.
Right.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be
Exactly.
in there forever. You're termed out in 2 terms, right?
You're
So
supposed- you're supposed to have a regular job. You go in there, you represent like the Tower District and say, well, in the big thing of the city, this is not really beneficial for the Tower District, so I'm voting no. Or, this is beneficial, so I'm voting yes. So you represent, but you're supposed to have a regular job, do your regular stuff, go in once in a while, have the meetings, do your vote, and leave.
Well, it's funny, they've had some city workers that have come out and stated too, saying, the raise they want to give themselves is more than I make annually.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what you're saying, Stu. This is an office. This is supposed to be a public servant. You're not going in there this is not a career. I mean, politics can be a career, yes, but I mean, essentially, you're in there to serve the public, serve your time, and then somebody else comes in.
Well, I find it funny because they're like, well, I didn't know it was going to be like a full-time job, right? That's like that's the argument, right?
It's probably making it that.
And it's a very simple thing for me. It's like, well, you don't give yourself a raise to fix that. I'll tell you what you do. You stop making it a full-time job.
Yes.
Like, that's how you fix it. It was never supposed to be one. You don't
Yeah.
then pay yourself more than the average, like much more than the average person in town because of your full-time job.
Yeah.
What you do is you stop making it a full-time job.
Well,
That's a simple one.
And I don't mind them giving themselves a raise. I'm not against that. But, I mean, we talked about optics before. But, yeah, maybe, at the most, maybe a 6%, not 69% when people are struggling.
Right.
And then let's take into account this, too. I mean, he's talking about, well, it's not like these people do things just completely on their own. According to Bredefield, he's got 2 staff members that help him out. Some of these other council members have up to 6 to 7 assistants helping them. So they're so busy, and they've got 6 to 7 assistants helping them. It's like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, what is so important down there that it's taken all your time, every minute of your time?
Yep. It shouldn't.
Now, if this city was a utopia, and if the roads were perfect and everything was running so smooth and great and wonderful, and there was no homeless problem and blah, 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 on and on and on, okay, maybe you could say, you know what, you guys did a wonderful job. You do deserve 69% raise. But
I'd even give them 70%.
You would go ahead and give them 70?
Just to round it up. I don't know where they came up with 69.
That's-
Somebody was playing a joke.
That's
or something.
probably what it is. They're
I guess 420 was off the table. So.
Yeah, they're tacking it on to the judge's salary. Maybe it just happened to be the number that it was at that time.
That's
of
a funny
69%,
thing to me, too. I have a beef with this guy, Tyler Maxwell.
Okay.
We don't like him.
He says, he voted for it. He says,
Yes.
well, I would not benefit from a salary increase. I do support tying this council's salaries to the benchmark. So anyways, he's saying he's not going to benefit from it, but he voted for it. End of the article. It says, let me find here.
But see, with judges, they have to make a certain amount, so they're not taking bribes and all of that stuff. Plus,
Yeah.
they sit there every single day and listen to people's problems.
While you're looking, did you find it yet?
Yeah. So
Okay,
it
go
says
ahead.
that he's not going to benefit. End of the article. Tyler Maxwell and Kerbasi would benefit from the pay increase if they win re-election in 2024. So yes, of course he's going to benefit from it.
If he
also,
wins.
Yeah, if he
the
wins,
thing
yeah.
about I'm going to tell you really quick. I do not, and I'm calling you out, Tyler Maxwell. You are my district. I'm in your district, and I think you're a liar. I'm saying it out loud.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why. He came to my door when he was running.
Okay.
Knock, knock, knock.
Knocked on my door, met him outside. Super, like, kind, like, very personable, right? Like, shook my hand, was literally asked me, did all the things that a great representative should do. Asked me what I care about in the city, all the stuff. I told him I was about to do a rogue show for the Rogue Festival. I said,
Okay.
I think it would be great if the city, if our district, if we knew more about the thing, the going-ons. I'm like, for instance, the Rogue Festival is this amazing part of Fresno in the Tower where people from all over the world come. We are the largest fringe festival in America, and yet the average person in Fresno has no clue what it is. I'm like, I believe that something as city council you could do for our little area is work to help people know about these things, right? Use your influence just to tell people about cool things going on in town.
Yeah.
He said, absolutely. He was like, that is huge. I don't even know about it. He didn't know about it himself. Big thing for him. He was very excited. Then he said, but what about, he said, what do you think about, politics and different things like that? And so I said, look, I'm going to be fully transparent with you. This is what I believe the government should do. I said they should lower taxes and they should stay out of my way. And, I am very a libertarian. So that's, I just kind of don't want you to be around me for the most part. So leave me alone.
Okay.
And he said, absolutely, I believe in the same stuff. He said the government. He said what the government should do is just stay out of people's way. We should minimal taxes. We should lower everything down, and we should make sure that we, just let people live, and we can lower taxes. All that stuff. He said I'm very libertarian myself, and I was like, okay, cool, like great guy. I love what he says. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And that's how you got the name Johnny Knobs.
Right. And then he walked away, and I was like, cool. So then I didn't know who he was. So then I looked him up, and I'm like, okay, well, interesting. He's fairly, liberal on his website and what he stands for.
Okay.
He is for expanding a good amount of taxes to build more things in town. And then since then, I've been following him because I wanted to know how much of a liar this guy was. From what I can tell, I have never once seen him post about the arts in Fresno. I just literally, the Rogue Festival was like a month away when I talked to him. Didn't post about it.
Wow.
And he is quite big on higher taxes, including being one of the key votes for increasing pay for all these people.
Wow.
So I just have an issue with this guy.
So you're
in general.
calling him out.
I'm calling him out because, look, man, if you had just been honest if he had just said, oh, look, tell you what, this is what I stand for. I actually believe that we should have higher taxes and we should increase this, and this. I would have said, well, hey, awesome, cool. I'm just not going to vote for you. That's fine.
Well,
Instead, I'm now not going to vote for him, and I'm going to tell everybody that he's a liar because he just should have been honest.
Well, here's the thing, and I just thought about this when you said that. Whenever, and this is a little piece of advice for people out there. Whenever a politician comes up to your door or you get a chance, and the minute they ask you, what would you like? Don't say anything. Just tell them, you know what? How about you tell me first, what do you want to do? And then we'll talk about it, because obviously he's just going to mirror you. I mean, obviously, you know what? I want this. Oh, that's what I want. And then somebody else says, well, I want that. And well, of course, that's what I want too.
Oh, yeah, I made that mistake.
Yeah, that just came to mind right now. It's like, you know what? Every time, little piece of advice, people, do not just ask them what they want to do first. Don't give them anything that they can mirror and say, yeah, of course, I agree with you. I just want...
That's a good point.
A couple other things I want to say real quick on this. One is that I think this would make the city council in Fresno the third highest paid in California. In the state.
Way.
I think so. Wow. And the other counties, or the other cities that they have, I think, actually 2/3 more of the population that they oversee compared to what Fresno does for that. I'm not sure on the stats. Maybe Johnny Knobs can double check on that.
Yeah. What was the stat I'm looking up?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's that important, but I think it would make the city council the third highest. It might be in that article, the third highest paid in the state The council members, the third highest paid in the state.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I will look up that and I will let you know.
And here's the other thing I wanted to say before we get out of here on this topic is that, the other arguments to this, and it was Carbasi who mentioned this, I heard in the meeting, that he said, well, if you want to bring good talent in, you have to pay them. If you want to keep, people, good talent and good people in here, you have to pay for that. So my question is, so the people we have there now, is he saying they're not good talent? They're not qualified? I don't understand. And that, to me, that, like we talked about earlier, it's a public service position. It's not supposed to be a career job.
Oh yeah, they would be the highest paid in the state. You're right, because first is Los Angeles, and then Vernon, and then actually San Francisco.
Well, so they would be paid $135. So they would actually top San Francisco.
Yeah.
Right?
Now this is a little bit old data.
Okay.
This is only published. This was actually published in 20. What is this from? Is old, but still.
Okay.
I can find the newest.
But anyway, that's what was brought up. But the point being is that I don't agree with that you're going to get the most qualified. The more you pay, you get the most qualified people. Because if you look at government, there's a lot of people that get paid a lot of money in government, and they don't know what the heck they're doing.
I'll tell you what, I feel like the more you're paid in government, the least qualified you are, because then you're just people trying to get the money.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were getting paid less and you had a good candidate, then you can trust them anyways.
So, yeah, I do not agree with that argument at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I say, I'm not against them getting a raise. Now, they got one back in, I think, 2018 was the last time. And I'm not against that, but I think the way they're doing it is totally wrong. And another point that was brought up, too, that I heard somebody say is that, well, okay, what about, now they knew this was coming. I'm sure they knew this vote was coming down. What about when this last election we just had, if they would have told their constituents, listen, go ahead and vote for me, and yes, I'm going to vote yes on this 69% raise.
Right.
If they would have disclosed that, would they have been voted back in? Now, I know we had a low turnout. Yeah. They say we had under 10% that actually voted in these races.
10%?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I mean, we had a low turnout. Maybe if they would have said that, it would have been a higher, return. Anyway, so that was just, anyway, people, just think about it. I mean, we have to pay attention to what's going on down there.
Oh, nobody pays attention.
In the spaceship downtown?
Yeah, in the spaceship.
I
think, building. And then I'll put it, this will be the last. I think it's going to Dyer. I heard he's going to veto it. He has the power to veto it.
He can veto it?
He can veto it, supposedly. I think if he vetoes it, it gets sent back and have to rework it or do something with it.
Okay.
But he vetoes it, or it might get, maybe if he vetoes it, it goes to the public. I'm not sure.
That's interesting.
But he can veto it. He said he was going to veto it. He did come out and say that he didn't think in the times that we're having right now, it's a good idea to do this.
Right.
So
okay.
It doesn't sound like he was for it. Now, his salary would also increase. I think it's like $120 right now or something, and it would go up to like $210.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
that would be the next term if he runs again. So this is all for people that are coming in on a new term. It's not for immediate raise.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's like, hey, welcome to the spaceship. Here's a barrel of money.
Yeah. So I'm going to change topics. I'm getting to some fun stuff here.
Yeah, let's get into something fun.
This is a quick one. I just wanted to let you guys know that a record-breaking python was found in the Florida Everglades. Yeah. Hey, you stole my joke. A record-breaking, let me start again. Hey, guys, a record-breaking python was caught in the Florida Everglades.
Hold on, I'm calling my wife.
Huge python.
Honey, listen to this.
A
record-breaking python was discovered in my pants.
And then on a separate note.
Why are you laughing?
I hear her laughing.
Separate note, I just returned from the Florida Everglades. Oh! Jeez, you guys stole my joke.
You buried it, too. That's
Man,
sad.
You guys killed my joke.
We're always trying to get the laugh. Sorry,
Anyways,
we jumped on you. We
whatever. I'm moving on.
But that was
Giant hanger. That was it. I literally came up with that joke, and you ruined it. Because it's a real news story that anyways, giant hangar poised for an aviation revolution. This is
that giant hangar to hold that giant python?
Oh,
not big enough.
I just came back from the store to buy myself. Anyways, airships could offer a much cleaner and quieter alternative for some aspects of the aviation market. Marty, take it away.
You know, in the opening of Batman, the animated series, where they have this city of Gotham, and you see all these big old blimps over the city.
That's the future.
I'm Batman.
That is the future, but they're bringing back dirigibles, which are not blimps. Blimps are just like a big bag of air.
Yeah.
Dirigibles have an infrastructure of aluminum.
Yeah.
And they're gigantic.
And dirigibles actually have like motors on them and things like that, right?
So do blimps.
So do blimps.
Right.
Yeah, blimps
The
have
interesting
motors.
thing about this, the way it's powered with the motors on the dirigible, is they're hydrogen powered, not electric.
Oh.
That way you don't have to carry heavy batteries. You can get your electricity from the hydrogen.
I would love this.
But we have a lot of people don't know this, but during World War II, we used to use blimps for off-the-coast anti-submarine warfare. And those hangars are still along certain airports, like around by
coastline?
Like the
out there?
coastline, different areas of the coast.
Okay.
And Oxnard, they're by now Oxnard and other places. And we have a huge dirigible hangar in Moffett Field. So if you're going to like San Jose, you'll go by Moffett Field and you'll see this gigantic hangar. And that's where they put the dirigible in. Now, back in the day, when the Army, the Navy had 2 dirigibles, and they would use them as like floating aircraft carriers. They could launch
interesting.
planes from them. And both of them crashed and killed several people.
Nice. That's
But
safe.
they say that is because the Navy flew them very aggressively
Okay.
when they shouldn't have been flying them. And also, whenever you mention dirigibles, people think of Zeppelins, which is, in the
exploded.
Hindenburg,
Yep.
it exploded because it used hydrogen, which is explosive.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, are these things explosive or what?
No, because they use helium, which is not explosive.
I thought helium was running out. I thought we couldn't even blow up like party balloons for birthdays and stuff.
I don't know, magic.
It's because all the helium's going into these dirigibles.
They can make helium through chemical reactions and things, lighter than air substances.
Yeah, I thought they can't just make helium, but apparently it was.
But they
running out.
want to start using these gigantic hangars for what they were meant to be used for.
Interesting.
So they're building huge luxury dirigibles. They want to build these things. They started building it. They're going to have a test flight here, I think, next year.
They say this hangar is the size of 8 football fields.
Oh, it's gigantic. You can see it from the freeway, and it is huge.
I probably
the air
seen it.
dock.
I don't remember it. I'll have to look for it again.
Wait, but I'm confused. Who is building them and for what? Like for is it
Travel, right?
Is it like
Luxury travel.
So it's private companies building them for
Yes.
travel.
I'm sure it's Elon, right? Elon's into everything now.
No, actually, it's not Elon.
Oh no, I'm worried about that.
Dude, I freaking
But I
love
thought
this
it would
idea.
be cool, really cool, because my dad used to tell me when because he lived in California, and every so often you would see the big dirigible fly over, and he said it was gigantic and it was awesome to see. And all I ever saw was a Goodyear blimp, which
I was going to
is
say
big.
the Goodyear blimp is what I saw too.
Right, but the dirigibles are so much bigger, and
Right.
it's for just like luxury air travel.
Well, I'll tell you guys, did you guys know this? Here's a thing that nobody maybe you guys knew this. This is kind of a cool little tip. You guys know in the old like in New York, the old buildings, they all have that little point at the top. Mm-hmm. You know what that's for?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, docking.
That's right. It is for
Dirigibles.
Docking a dirigible.
for dirigible docking.
Yeah,
How freaking cool is it?
that's awesome, huh?
And they even used to have like mechanisms to help refill. Like, look at how cool.
That is crazy.
There's the
isn't it?
Goodyear actually.
Yeah, we're
stuck
looking
to
at
it.
pictures right now. You can Google it and look at these things.
And also, with a lot of the technology we have nowadays, dirigible travel is becoming safer and safer all the time.
See, that's what I'm worried about. I'm like, would you guys really go on one of these things?
I
I
would.
mean, I'm thinking of. I mean, I know it's supposed to be safe, but I'm still thinking of, man, this thing. What happens if it goes down?
It's going to
what the
slowly
heck?
deflate and go to the ground and fall on the ground. And you just got to keep the top of
That's
it.
not
from
what it
falling
was in
on
the
top.
movies. These things always explode.
That
and-
was hydrogen. That was a Hindenburg.
Yeah, so for those, just so you know, they're called mooring masts. The top of those, top of all those buildings.
Oh, those buildings?
They
Yeah.
all have the point. Even like any building with one of these points, for the most part, built around that time. Even like the rounded buildings with the little tippy
So
tops.
were they able
those are
to
all
dock
for
from
mooring
there,
masts.
or were they just refilling?
No, they would dock.
They would actually,
dock.
people could get on and get off
Yeah.
at that point. Wow,
Right,
can you imagine getting
'cause
on the top of a building?
You
That'd
can
be
go from the
Yeah,
gondola.
here's a picture of one right here.
Oh, yeah, if you go on there, you can go from the gondola
is.
out
Oh
through
my
the nose.
gosh, I don't
and
know
they
if I
have
can do
a-
that.
They have a ladder in the nose. Since the superstructure is basic of the dirigible, the main balloon part is actually a series of bags of helium.
Yeah.
And you could walk in through the superstructure of the gigantic bag.
Yeah.
and you could exit out the nose. So you could exit out the nose into the Empire State Building.
That, people in olden days were very cool, man.
Oh,
Because they came up with this great stuff, and they were just like fearless. Yeah, they would like walk on this little rope bridge from the dirigible to the top of that Empire State Building, and didn't even think twice about it. Me, I'm like, I'm never doing
Now we have to have walkways from the airplane so we don't have to get out on the tarmac.
That is awesome.
So I'm super excited about
Yes.
this company, though, because, I would... Oh, it's called LTA Research. I would get on one of these.
Oh, in a second, yeah.
And I would demand that I dock at the top of the Empire State.
No.
I would demand it.
Really?
Or else I wouldn't, or else screw that, man.
See, it's kind of like if you ever watch the third Indiana Jones when they're traveling in the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Germans and stuff. That's what it was like. It's a luxury travel.
Yeah.
And you could sleep on it and everything.
Wow, the mooring mast.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you
They could
literally
stay aloft for
because
days.
it's not as fast, of course, as a plane. So yeah, you would just be. It would kind of like be a train, like taking a train. It's just like the whole experience of getting from one place to the other, and
Yeah,
you
and
just
you could
enjoy the trip, or a cruise.
Yeah, and it could stay in
kinda
the
the
air
same
for
thing.
days at a time.
Oh, man, I hope this is the future, man.
Because isn't
Isn't
it
that funny?
cool with the big old Zeppelin, big old dirigible
have to-
over
That
the
photo of the Zeppelin over New York is really cool.
Now, could this thing dock at the top of the Security Pacific? Is the Security Bank building down in downtown Fresno? Could we dock there and
city?
then?
Sure, they'll make it so you can. If Max wants it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm still kind of on the fence on this one. Look, there's a boat. They're showing a picture of this blimp.
I love this. The New York, April 1924. The headline is "The mooring mast is the thing."
Yeah, look at that.
That's a pretty.
It was going to be the wave of the future. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Los Angeles, the Graf Zeppelin.
Is it because the Zeppelin blew up that basically this people?
Yeah, it's because of the Hindenburg.
People said no more.
And
I mean
then
the Hindenburg. Sorry, I
Then
said
with the
it's a
two that
Zeppelin,
the
but-
Navy had, they had one on the East Coast and the West Coast, and they crashed both of them because they would operate
and
them
then
in
the
terrible
Navy,
weather.
yeah.
I
But that was different. That was for military. But I'm just saying, I mean, as far as travel and people kind of getting spooked, it was probably because of the Hindenburg.
Hindenburg killed the whole thing. Yeah.
The two pictures of the Hindenburg flying over New York? This is actually one of my favorite photos of all time. It looks fake. This is an old photo in 1936.
It's like it's snowing.
It's snowing. There's it's just classic 30s New York.
Right. It shows the
Art
Empire
Deco.
State Building with the Hindenburg moored to the top mooring
Attached to
of
the
the
top,
building.
yeah.
And they have lights showing, and it's a night picture, so it's very high contrast.
They got the spotlights up on it. Looks like the spotlights are shooting up from the
It is.
ground.
It looks
So
like Gotham in the opening thing of
Yes.
opening series of the animated series.
That
opening
is-
part.
That
I'll
is
put
amazing.
That photo's in the show notes underneath. It's in here somewhere under dirigible docking. It'll be in there.
Now
'cause it
that
is
I was
just
going to say that's
coolest.
the funniest name, dirigible.
Dirigible, yeah.
Why
But
come
you-
up with
we
that
can't
name? That
use-
is the silliest
we
name
can't
I
use
think.
Zeppelin
Dirigible.
because it's a German name.
Are you
so
guys going to
it's
take the
a
airplane? No, I'm taking a dirigible.
dirigible?
Okay, so did they have anything in this article about the tickets? What possibly the cost would
No,
be?
they're still developing it. They're going to
Okay.
have their test flight later in the year. Where I would love to go there and see it.
Oh
They
yeah.
pull that out of the hangar because the hangars. You want to use the old hangar because they're huge and they're specially built. So the front of it is rounded because you can't have it square because a square building will create its own air currents around it
Okay.
and cause a lot of problems where the rounded buildings don't do that.
That's why you see kind of the domes before the dome, and then there'll be the docking.
But I'm sure you've seen the hangar on Moffett Field. You can't miss it. When
I'm
you're
sure I
traveling
have. I
to
haven't been that way in so long, and
It's huge and it's white. They were going to take it down because it has asbestos in it.
Oh, whatever.
And all these people said, no,
Get
you
over it.
cannot take it down because it's too iconic.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
And it's giant. And you'll wonder, what is that? What is that? So I
Yeah.
was
Johnny just
wondering-
pulled up some pictures, and I've seen that, and I'm like, man, that thing is huge. And I would just assume I thought it was maybe like a Boeing 747.
I mean, look how
hangar
big
or
it is
something.
compared to these
it's
massive
bigger.
planes,
Yeah.
man. It's
Yeah.
huge.
And they have they were restoring it and they would have dinner parties in it and everything and let everyone breathe the asbestos.
Oh my gosh.
So cool.
But I'm just so excited to see the rebirth of the dirigible.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. If that happens in my lifetime where I get to look up in the sky and see a bunch of dirigibles,
Yeah.
it's finally going to feel like I live in the 30s. And I'm
Right.
so
Wow.
excited for it.
I'll forgive the lack of flying cars if we have dirigibles.
Imagine personal dirigibles though, like little hydrogen powered 4-person dirigibles.
You could use a mooring on your roof. Yeah.
Dude, that's actually the future. and you could get to work in like 4 hours.
If you have a motor problem, you're not going to fall down. You know, if it crashes, it's just going to like slowly go down.
You can work in your dirigible. By the time you got there, you do all your work. By the time you got to work, you'd already be done with your work. Hey, also this might replace van life. You know how on YouTube
dirigible
van life
was
a dirigible
you can
life.
just attach to any tree.
Yeah, or you can just float around for days and be up there and have your own little camping trip.
I'm done. This is it. That's my life.
Yeah,
amazing. You can you bring a shotgun and you can hunt birds up in the sky. And you're good. You don't even have to have food with you.
Don't shoot your dirigible.
Not a great idea. Because it was cool because in certain places like Daly City, they had blimps doing anti-submarine warfare.
Okay.
And so they would have 2 depth charges on the blimp, and the blimp would go out on patrol for, however long they patrolled for, like a day or so, and just float around and look for submarines in the water, Japanese submarines, and bomb the heck out of them.
Because I think people forget about that. During the World War II, that was really a scare. I mean, I know a lot of movies made fun of that, but that was really a scare that the submarine. I think there were submarines that had been spotted on the coast.
Yeah, like off Morro Bay. In fact, there was an event that happened. It really happened where a submarine actually bombed someone's house. It surfaced, saw the lights, bombed it, and then took off. But that was the submarines were off of our coast.
And I think a lot of that, and they I'm sure they were going for military targets, but I think a lot of that too was fear factor, just trying to make Americans fear that they could be under attack anytime, right? Because that's part of what war is it's creating the fear.
Kind of like the battle for Los Angeles, where, do you know about the Battle of Los Angeles?
No.
So, okay, it's World War II. Everyone's afraid that we're going to be bombed, right? And so Los Angeles has all these anti-aircraft bunkers hidden around the city, and there's something in the sky, and they don't know what it is. There are no planes supposed to be flying around there, so they light it up, and they just bomb the heck out of it. They're just launching anti-aircraft bombs that are going up and exploding, with the shrapnel and everything.
Yeah.
And so they bomb the heck out of their skies. Nothing gets hit.
Okay.
And they don't know what it was.
Dirigible?
They think. They don't know. Even to this day, they don't know what it was. There's speculation that it might have been this aircraft that was out of its area. Other places are saying it's UFOs.
Oh, interesting.
Other ones saying it's a weather balloon. But they don't, to this day, do not exactly know what they were shooting at. But there was something in the sky. They lit it up. They were bombing it. Wow. And people got hurt because all that shrapnel that goes up comes down from those anti-aircraft.
Yeah. Well, especially in a city like L.A. I mean, you got the population's not spread out. It's all right there.
There's a lot of property damage. People were hurt. It's an interesting story. If you ever get a chance, look up, on Wikipedia or whatever, the battle for Los Angeles.
Well, you know what? Maybe that was what that movie. Now, Steven Spielberg did a movie, 1941.
That's exactly what they were.
And is that what that was? Is that what that was about? Okay, so if you ever get a chance to watch 1941, it's a comedy spoof about that time and about the exactly what you're talking about. People were looking over the coast and watching for subs and this and that, and the I think it was the same thing.
In fact, a
plane came through.
They have that submarine that attacked that house.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
when they
right.
were bombing the house. That actually happened.
And who was in? Oh yeah, that's right. So not Slim Pickens. Was it Slim Pickens?
Yes.
He's the
pilot.
He was captured on the sub.
He's just an ordinary guy captured by the sub. John Belushi was in
And
that.
John Belushi was a pilot. He was in the fighter pilot. And I remember, I think the plane you're talking about was another one that they were talking about that flew and nobody knew who it was, and they started bombing the crap out of it.
Right.
It's a great funny movie. I remember seeing it. I mean, years ago. But yeah,
but a lot of it's based on actual fact that really happened during World War II.
That is so interesting. Wow.
But it's interesting with the anti-aircraft bunkers because their location was secret. You weren't supposed to know where the anti-aircraft bunkers were. But yeah, they just destroyed this. They didn't destroy the city.
They destroyed the sky.
They destroyed the sky and hurt a lot of people
and hurt themselves in the process.
They didn't realize, all this shrapnel is going to fall back down to earth. Oh no! So.
Interesting. Well, we just had a good dirigible and history with Stu Podesso. Thank you, Stu.
Really good. That is really
that's
good.
Very cool.
Hey, how long is this? Is a couple minutes here? 2 minutes? 2 minutes? Yeah, we got some time. We got 10 minutes left, so we're gonna have to push some of these big stories to the next show. However.
Yeah, you want to talk about this one too? You pick this one up?
Let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
It's interesting.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric. This is
your
story.
No,
right?
That's right. I wasn't there. Go ahead. Go ahead and talk
Fresno
about it.
Chaffee Zoo, they had an event.
Yes.
The Family Pride Night on Friday, June 24th, and they sold out. So congratulations for selling it.
Now I heard this event did cause a big stir.
Yeah.
Among the public. right?
Right, and they were also going to have a drag show.
And we're having and I know there's a lot
for
of people
kids,
that were upset about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So yeah, you were right, Stu. I did go and I did some on-scene reporting for this. So just go. We can play that.
Yeah, sure. This is some live or some. Yeah, Eric did some reporting.
I did some on-scene. So
okay, here we go.
This is the Doorman with another on-scene report. Now, we all know that an event recently at the zoo has caused a lot of controversy here locally. But I thought that we are leaving out the voices that really matter in this conversation. So I decided to give those voices that are getting lost in this discussion a platform to say what really needs to be said, and hopefully will bring us all together. So here I am at the zoo, and I'm going to ask the tough questions and hopefully get the tough answers that we all need to hear and that will help this community heal. Hi, excuse me, how are you doing today? Good, good. Now, what do you think about this special event here at the zoo? Uh-huh. Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for your input. Excuse me, would you mind answering a few questions for us? What do you think about this special event that they're holding here at the zoo? Right. Well, very interesting. Well, thank you for your time. Hello, can I ask you a few questions? Now, what do you think about it? And is there anything you would have done differently? Okay, I see. Good points. Very good. Well, thank you for your time. Let's see, we'll try to get one more here. Excuse me, would you mind answering a few questions here about this special event here at the zoo? Now, what do you think about it? And is there anything that could have been done differently? Okay, good. Wow. Yes. Well, thank you. Those are some excellent points you made today. Well, now, as you have heard some different opinions on this subject, I hope it sheds some light on the controversy from the voices that it affects most. This is the Doorman with another on-scene report.
That's hard hitting.
yeah,
Wolves are so opinionated, you know?
Yeah. It's go ahead. Yeah.
How did people react to you being out there? I mean, did the animals, were they? I mean, they had a lot to say. Were they uncomfortable? Was everything fine with you being out there?
Yeah, you know, a lot of them didn't want to really speak on the mic.
Yeah.
Like the river otters. They never want to speak.
River otters. You know, the snakes too. You know, they pretty much just coiled up and hissed. They weren't. But yeah, I was glad that I got a few of the animals out there to chime in, and I think what they, as you all heard, really what they had to say, really brings a lot of light to this discussion.
Yeah,
and it's great because it was an inclusive event, and you included the animals and got their opinions. I think that's
exactly
admirable.
Exactly. They're the ones that are there. They're the ones every day that are there for us. So I wanted to
Basically,
make sure
everyone's in their house.
Yes, true.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, that was. You know, I think that would be. I think some people were like a lot of news people were maybe scared to go out there because there was a lot of heated, sentiment. But you really you marched in there. You did the hard work, and the hard reporting. So
I will say the one animal that really disappointed me though was the giraffe. I tried to talk to the giraffes out there, and all they wanted to do was eat lettuce. That was very disappointing, but I will try again, and I will try to get their opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up. So,
right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Doorman.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, we have a couple minutes left. I want to talk about just a couple of things going on around town, some entertainment picks, and some things like that. This is interesting for you with the kids out there. This is taking place at one of our favorite places in Clovis, the Clovis Book Barn.
Ooh, nice.
Saturdays over the summer, they are hosting Fossil Saturdays with Steve Hammond. It's a fossil Q&A lessons on prehistoric life and natural history. So just follow them, the Clovis Book Barn, on Facebook, and they will be hosting them Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and they will announce the dates in advance each month. So Steve Hammond will be featuring a vast assortment of fossils and other prehistoric relics, while also giving an explanation of their origin and biological structures. All ages are welcome. Questions are encouraged. That's kind of a fun thing to be doing at the Book Barn. You go there, learn about fossils, pick up some books. Maybe somebody like you get really intrigued by Brontosaurus. Well, then pick up a book about a Brontosaurus while you're there.
That's a great
cool.
event.
Ask Steve some questions and go get the book.
Yeah. Now I don't know who Steve Hammond is.
We need to have him on the show.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool.
He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Steve Hammond, that's just a great name. Steve Hammond, prehistoric guy.
Authority, yes.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a lot of fun. Now, once again, I think he is called, see if I found him, get a little bit of information about him.
The Dino Dude.
I'm assuming this is Steve Hammond. Actually, Marty Martucci already follows him, so I'm assuming...
You follow the
doesn't
Dino
post
Dude.
very much. Yeah, because last time I was at the Book Barn, I saw his little display.
Oh, so it is this
and
guy.
Started following him.
Okay.
Oh, that's a picture. Yeah, that's him right there in the
There he
pictures.
is.
Yeah. Steve Hammond, the Dino Dude.
Steve Hammond, the
DinoDude.com.
Dino Dude. So DinoDude.com this is a 404. That pet website doesn't work. But definitely Steve Hammond. I'm going to follow him. We will reach
He's
out.
an author. He's an artist. He's a paleontology enthusiast.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So check that out. I think that's a really cool thing to take the kids to, or everything else. I love the Book Barn. Love the Book Barn.
Say hi to Derek for us.
Yeah, tell Derek we said hello.
Yeah, definitely let him know Eric is missing him, and
A lot.
Yeah.
get him out there.
And Marty. Marty.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay, cool new place in town. It is called, well, let me tell you this. Let's say you like going to a bar. You want to drink.
I love bars. I
Love
like
bars.
drinking.
This actually, I think, is a perfect place for Marty.
All right.
You like going to a bar, you like drinking, but you also are into maybe some geeky things.
Like
right?
dinosaur bones?
Maybe into board games, maybe into card games. Do you like board games, Marty?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a new place. It's in Clovis. It's called Beer for the Meeples. It is a board game bar and cafe.
Interesting.
Sounds fun.
You can stop by. They have beer. They also have loose leaf tea, cold brew coffee, and other drinks. But they also have 400 board games.
Oh, my God.
And they're open late. So you can hang out there, play board games with people. They have competitions. They also have pub quiz that they're looking into. Like it would be calling it Geeks Who Drink. So I think this place is really cool. I haven't been, but I think that I would love to check this place out and go in there and.
What would be your favorite game to play with beer? Board game.
Oh my goodness, Jenga.
Jenga?
Does that count?
Is that a board
Jenga.
game?
Giant Jenga.
Life?
They have.
Life?
They got
No,
cookies.
that's too complicated.
They
man.
got
Monopoly?
Yeah, so they have some beer. It's all local. They have House of Pendragon beer.
Ooh.
So you can go in there and get some beer. They got
Mousetrap. They're playing
they got
Mousetrap
oh
here.
Mousetrap
That would
would
be
be
the game.
great.
That would be
Yes.
fun. My daughter loves that game.
So this is fun. There's two people
watching the
playing
Mousetrap.
with master's degrees, and they're having a heck of a time drunk playing Mousetrap. They got a whole bunch of fun stuff. So, I think this is a fun idea. Go in, just play some games,
Have some beer.
have
relax.
some beer. Like, what a fun place to go hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
Let's go
Yeah,
to a
for
bar.
sure.
They have these giant cabinets full of games. So
Because
just
what I hate is when you go to a bar and they have those stupid televisions and they're showing some sports and people always get lost in whatever sport and
Right.
it just ruins the conversation. And also the music's too loud. But here it seems like it's designed to talk with people, to interact on a different level with your friends.
And they have these
when you're drunk friends.
multiple large gaming type tables, that fit
Yeah.
some more people. It's not just a bar counter. I would actually love to see if I can convince the guys to record from there, and if these people would be cool with it. I would love to do live from a Beer for the Meeples, maybe play a game. or
Yeah,
some
that'd be
podcasting.
interesting. That'd be a great podcast.
So this place is awesome. Keep in mind, I haven't been. I don't know if their beer's any good, or like if their tap lines are full of, I don't know, bacteria.
Viruses.
But if it's not, and their beer's good, and their food's good, and their games are good, check it out, man. I'm excited about
because
this
we're going
place.
to at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for a Marty to say, no, we're not. But I think we will.
We
we're
maybe
not.
will.
We're never
I
gonna
might. They won't.
I would love to go. So check this place out. I think they're, you
And
can
it's
check
at
them out.
50 West Bullard Avenue, number 112 in Clovis.
They are at, you can find them on Yelp. They're on Bullard and Minnewawa.
They open at 12,
okay.
guys. They're
Nice.
close. Right, they open at 12.
12 to, and they, look at, on Fridays, Saturdays, they're open till 1 a.m.
Well, pretty soon. Well, no, that's Clovis. I was saying pretty soon in Fresno, you could be open till what, 4 a.m.?
You can? Is that a thing? Bars?
Yeah. They're trying to
Really?
put that through, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, we can talk about that on the next show. But
Yeah. So, really cool. Check it out. Those are the picks. Everybody, thank you again for tuning in, telling a friend, do rate us. And also, there's a new thing that we would like to just check in. You know, we provide a lot of content.
Yeah.
A lot of content.
A lot of
you
content.
do a lot of work for this
a lot of
content.
hard work.
Yeah, and I think, you know,
we don't do
we,
much.
you know, we really try to give you something that you enjoy, that you can listen to, that you can learn from, that you can have fun with, that, you know, just we try to make it part of your afternoon or your morning.
That's right.
So we would ask that if you're willing, if you can, to go to our
If you're a city council member who just got a huge raise,
right, that's right. If you have it in you, if you have a few dollars to spare, we would ask that you go check out our site, nofocusradio.com. There is a link in there where you can just donate to us. You can
That's
buy us a
right.
coffee.
Just
and,
donate.
And when you do, you become an exclusive member, which gives you access to some really cool things. We're not just asking for money. We're giving you more. You can get access to our Discord server.
an exclusive content. with me
Exclusive
saying things
content.
I shouldn't say.
Lifetime supply of circus peanuts.
That's right. No, but legitimately, though, you're going to have access to our Discord server. You can chat with us
Wow.
live. You're going to be able to send us messages, see our show notes, add things in there. You're gonna get some stickers, a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
So we'd appreciate it. There's a lot of options.
We try to provide value for you guys, and you know.
Yeah.
So
And if you
hope can
donate, we'll
provide-
give you a good night shout out. Everyone say good night to Nate.
That's right.
Good night, Nate.
Good night, Nate.
We appreciate it. And good night, Guy DeBoss, who actually sponsored us as well. Appreciate
thanks,
that. That's
Guy.
a new one. So thank you, everybody. Have a great
Remember,
rest
5
of the week.
stars is always the correct number of stars.
That's right. And we'll talk to you very soon. We got a lot coming up on the next show.